The National Union of Journalists of the Philippines hitting back at Leyte 4th District Representative Richard Gomez over his reaction to the request for comment by multiple media organizations to a collapsed flood control structure in Matag-Ob, Leyte. Now, in a Facebook post, Gomez claimed similarities in the questions and interview requests showed an orchestrated effort and alleged that journalists were being paid to get his side of the story. He also shared screenshots containing names and phone numbers of media workers, raising concerns over possible data privacy violations. The NUJP points out media groups asking for Gomez's side of the story actually works in his favor, giving him a chance to respond to allegations raised by Matag-Ob Mayor Bernie Tacoy, who earlier criticized him for a lack of support during severe flooding. It says Gomez could have simply declined to answer instead of putting malice or revealing private information. Joining us now to dissect the issue further is UP Diliman journalism professor Danilo Arao. Professor Arao again, welcome to Dateline Philippines.
Yes, nice to see you again. It seems that we have so many problems in media right now.
Seems that you're becoming a mainstay in this show. Anyway, Professor Arao, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I just want to get your thoughts on Congressman Richard Gomez making claims that journalists are first orchestrated because in his own observation, they were asking similar questions. What do you make of this allegation?
First of all, there's a difference between news gathering and media spin. What was posted by Gomez, there are 7 or so screenshots. These are just simply requests for interviews. In fact, there are no questions. Only the topic was clearly mentioned there. And of course, you expect the media to be tackling the same issues. Although the line of questioning may be almost similar, but of course, there would be some nuances and differences with regard to the questions. Stanley, let's be clear here. There's no media spin in a situation where journalists and media workers are just simply doing their jobs. It reflects more on the lack of knowledge or no knowledge at all on the part of Gomez with regard to how journalism works. Let me ask Richard Gomez, is this the first time that he got such invitations to be interviewed by the press? I doubt it. I mean, he's been a public figure for the longest time. He has served public service and he has been an entertainer for the longest time as well. So being media savvy, we expect that from him, of all people.
Okay, and perhaps the more contentious issue here or statement here is the fact that there is an insinuation that media has been paid to, set this kind of agenda. What do you make of that?
Actually, he may be riding on the trend right now regarding the 2 veteran journalists who are accused of being paid or being, on the take, which is yet to be proven, by the way. But let me be clear here. When you get interviewed by the press, I don't want to state the obvious, but you don't get paid. I mean, that's it. No money changes hands in the sense that I, for example, as interview source, do not pay my interviewee in the same way the news media organization is not expected to pay me. I mean, it's on the basis of authority and credibility. I can't believe I'm repeating, things that I've said in this program as well. Because, Stanley, we have to be repetitive in our clarification regarding the press because we don't want the erosion of trust in the media perpetrated by the likes of Richard Gomez. That's why we have to call him out for the lack of understanding or no understanding at all with regard to the press, which is a little bit unfortunate, Stanley, because it may not be known to the public that Richard Gomez was once a special student in the University of the Philippines, and he also took some courses in our college, embarrassing as it may seem.
Okay, Professor Arao, you brought it up, the recent events about advertorials and some media personalities using different platforms and perhaps receiving payment for content. Does it worry you now that this is becoming a trend, and the fact that, a lot of public officials who may be criticized by media or challenged by media would just simply go back to this excuse, eroding the reputation, as you've said, of an independent or a free press. Is that something that worries you now?
Yes, what worries me is that the word bayaran will become more often used, and then it will be ascribed not just to certain scalawags in the journalism profession, but to the entire Philippine journalism sector. We don't want that to happen. That's why we have, as far as the media would be concerned, we have to acknowledge the fact that yes, media corruption does happen, but there are conscious efforts to correct such a situation and to expose certain colleagues who may be on the take. But of course, this should be subject to very, very in-depth research, and due diligence should be done in terms of making the accusation. That's why, in a similar fashion, with regard to Mayor Vico Soto, he did well in terms of exposing the anomalous or the controversial interviews, but at the same time, he should be more straightforward in providing details. What does he know about the alleged 10 million, which is of course not necessarily the amount based on the asterisk that he wrote. So that should be the case.
Okay, Professor Araw, the National Union of Journalists of the Philippines pushing back, given the latest incident with Congressman Gomez. What more do you expect media groups now to do to defend, or we're actually put in a position that we need to defend ourselves, but must we, and to what extent?
There should be a concerted effort toward media literacy so that the public would really know how the press operates and not just depend on the likes of Richard Gomez, who has zero knowledge at all regarding the workings of the press, number one. Number two, there has to be accountability with certain journalists